for goods? Because we had taken ample time and Swati madam had come and she had also taken some questions. So that should have been really helpful to you. But just want to know if you have any queries, else we can proceed with the clarification. So in GST, a good part is that after any notification is issued and there is some ambiguity in it, then we see that there is a circular which is issued to clarify the queries. So similarly, in place of supply for goods, there is a clarification which we will consider today. Okay. So I consider that as there is no queries which you may have. So we'll proceed with the clarification. We had discussed one provision, which is 10(1)(ca). Okay. 10(1)(ca) says, 10(1)(c), where supply is not involving movement of goods. What is the place of supply? The place of supply in that case is the location of the goods at the time of delivery to the recipient, right? So we had taken this example of when the goods are given on lease and they are already with the lessor, right? In a lease transaction, you are giving a goods to the lessee. Now, lessee gives it to the lessor. Now, lessor already has it. And at the end of the lease term, he says, I want to buy it. So he already has the goods with him. Physically, उसके पास goods है. तो फिर उसकी मूवमेंट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. सिर्फ टाइटल चेंज होना है. टाइटल जो था लेसर के पास अभी लेसी के पास चला जाएगा. Okay. Second example we had understood in this was when you have purchase of pre-installed furniture and equipment, right? We had given an example of an office where the fixtures, furnitures and fixtures are already existing. That is a case of 10(1)(c). Now 10(1)(c) says, 10(1)(ca), sorry. First 10(1)(ca), then the clarification. 10(1)(ca) says that where the supply of goods is made to a person other than a registered person. Now, who is the person other than a registered person? Who can be a person who is other than the registered person? Come on. They're very early, really important that we get responses from you. Unregistered person, consumers. Correct, Bhuma. So, what they are trying to say is anybody who is other than a registered person, that is not the supplier, that's the recipient. Consumers who are unregistered, correct. So where the supply of goods is made to a person other than a registered person, which means what? Supply is made by a registered person. They're not saying whom it is made from. It is supply is made from a taxable person or a registered person, where the supply of goods is made by a registered person to a person other than a registered person, which is an unregistered person or a consumer. What will be the place of supply? There, this 10(1)(ca) says that where you're supplying it to an unregistered person, the place of supply shall be the place of supply shall, notwithstanding anything contrary contained in ARC. Because ARC says movement base, RC says where the goods are actually located. So when you're making supply to an unregistered person, notwithstanding anything to the contrary, which means if there is something which 10(1)(a) says, then you follow it. Or if 10(1)(c) says, you follow it. But if you're making supply to an unregistered person, the place of supply shall be the location as per the address of the said person recorded in the invoice. Okay. So the place of supply, when you make any sale, any supply of service to an unregistered person, the place of supply shall be the location as per the address of the said person recorded in the invoice issued. Because a person who is unregistered, he will not have his GST number. So you don't know where he is there. So the alternative 10(1)(ca) says that in such cases, wherever the address of the person is mentioned, that will be treated as the place of supply. Okay. Shall be the location as per the address of the said person recorded in the invoice issued in respect of the said supply, and the location of the supplier where the address of the said person is not recorded in the invoice. So this is to be bifurcated into two parts. One is where the location as per the address of the said person in the invoice issued in respect of the said supply. This is one part, and this is the second part. The first part says that it shall be the location as per the address of the said person, that is the recipient, the unregistered person who is receiving the goods. So that will be the location as per the address of the said person, that will be the place of supply. Now, if that person's address also is not available with you, then it shall be the location of the supplier. Clear with this? So 10(1)(ca) says that wherever there is a difficulty in identifying the place of supply because the recipient is not registered, in such cases, you will go as per the address. Now, what will be the address for the purpose of this clause? Recording of the name of the state of the said person shall be deemed to be recording of the address. So if you have the address, very well and good. If you do not have the address, then just mentioning the state also is sufficient so that the place of supply will be that state. Okay, so that is what the 10(1)(ca) is saying. And where even address is not mentioned, right? Like when you sell to somebody now, he just gives you a cash and he doesn't wait to tell from which state he is. So there the place of supply will be location of the supplier itself. So what is the difference between records of supplier and invoice or voucher? I didn't get your question. Invoice is an invoice. When any sale happens, you give the document, that is the invoice, right? And vouchers are different. You have payment voucher, receipt voucher, that we'll see separately. And records of supplier is all of this. The register of voucher, register of invoice, register of input tax credits, all this put together is called as records of the supplier. This is very important because this we understood last class, but still, okay. Because after this, there's a clarification. That clarification is very practical, which we need to understand. Any doubts? Okay. So once we understood that when we make any supply, okay, when we make any supply to a person who is other than a registered person, the other person's address, which is mentioned, will be place of supply. Now, there were a lot of practical challenges being faced in terms of e-commerce transactions, right? We also do a lot of purchases on Amazon, Flipkart, Meesho, Myntra, so many things. Now, what will be the place of supply of such goods which is supplied through e-commerce platform to a unregistered person where billing address is different from the address of delivery of the goods? Can there be a situation where the billing address and delivery address is different? Come on, this is very uh, question which is close to your heart, right? We all do a lot of shopping online. So when do you think can there be a difference between billing address and shipping address? Why do you think there'll be a difference? Archana is saying in case of gift to anybody else. Correct. So I might be located in Karnataka, but I want to gift to my friend in Haryana. So I will tell bill to me and ship to Haryana. Correct? For sending gifts. Yeah. And for any other occasion also that you have come from your native to your place where to work. Your billing address can be your native address, and shipping address could be different address. Correct? So we understand this concept. Now, in this concept, when you see, we don't know because they charge GST, but what GST they have to remit was the query being raised. So that's why the query was like this. Mr. A, who is an unregistered person located in X state, places an order for an e-commerce platform for supply of a mobile phone, which is to be delivered to a different address located in Y state. Okay, he's A is located in X state and he wants the mobile to be delivered to Y state. So Mr. A, while placing the order on the e-commerce platform, provides the billing address located in X state. In such a scenario, what would be the place of supply of the said supply of mobile phone? Whether the state pertaining to the billing address, that is state X, or state pertaining to the delivery address, that is state Y. What should be the place of supply? What do you think will be the place of supply? State Y is what Archana is saying. State X as it's on bill. Okay. Yes, Mr. Sunil, you can unmute and answer. State Y as it's the delivery state. Okay. Delivery state, Soumya is also saying delivery state, place of delivery in the invoice. Place of delivery in the invoice. Okay. So billing address will be different and billing delivery address will be different. So you are saying what is the delivery state that? Billing address state X, state Y. Okay. So this was the confusion. So that's why they went and they raised this query. And this circular gave a answer saying that the clarification is as per the provisions of section 10(1)(ca) discussed above, the place of supply of goods shall be the address of delivery of the goods recorded in the invoice. The 10(1)(ca) says the address what is recorded in the invoice. Now address, both the address will be there, billing address and shipping address also. So which address we should take? They have clarified when we said that address you have to consider, we meant the address of delivery of the goods. Because ultimately the goods are physical. Wherever the goods are moving, we will get to know that will be the place of supply. So they have clarified that in such cases where there is different billing address, different shipping address, the shipping address or the delivery address shall be the place of supply. Also, in such cases involving supply of goods to an unregistered person where the billing address and delivery address are different, the supplier may record the delivery address as the address of the recipient on the invoice for the purpose of determination of place of supply of the said supply of goods. So it will be state Y in this case. What is the difference between this case and bill to ship to? See, the models are different. In case of a bill to ship to transaction, the billing address to whom you're making, there that is the place of supply. But in this case, the shipping address is the place of supply. So there is a different, lot of difference between bill to ship to and this transaction. Bill to ship to is where you are saying that you bill to me, I will pay you, right? And ship to other person. But in this e-commerce transactions, bill to will not affect because ultimately where you're shipping to is important because the person who is you're billing to, he is unregistered person. You don't charge GST to him or you charge GST to him, doesn't matter. Which type of GST you charge also will not matter to him. But the state government where the goods are moving should get the revenue. That is the reason they have said whatever is the shipping address, that will be the place of supply. What is OTC, over the counter? Like when we had said, when any supply is made to an unregistered person, you have a shop, the buyer is coming and you are selling the goods to him, right? So in such case, he is coming to your shop desk and buying and going. That is called as OTC or over the counter supply.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, so we can say the only difference between these two, like this case and bill to ship to model, is that in that bill to ship to model, the both the persons are registered, and here both the persons are unregistered.
Not both the
So
person.
that's why
The
here
receiver is unregistered.
receiver. So that's why here the place of supply is statewide where the goods are being delivered because the person is unregistered,
Right.
right?
You're right.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Correct. Yeah, if we order goods online, receive the goods from the pickup point, the place of supply will be pickup point. You're right. You've understood it rightly, Rajesh. What if the gift sent to registered person? Still, it will be the that address itself because the person who is paying, right, will be you itself, the person to whom it is billed to. So that will not affect if even if you're sending it to a registered person, he will not claim the ITC, right? So they've said when the transaction is between one person who is registered to a receiver who is unregistered. That's all it says. The delivery address can be registered or unregistered, doesn't matter. The receiver's address is unregistered, then you have to apply this circular. What if I'm ordering to e-commerce for someone else and I'm registered? So when if it is registered, right, then the bill to ship to will come in because this 10(1)(ca) is specified specifically to an unregistered person. But if you are registered, then our normal provisions of bill to ship to will apply. Correct, Deepika. Shipping address is necessary. Right. Okay. So this we understood in the previous class and all of the provisions we have clear. This is what I wanted to clarify. And 10(1)(d), the place of supply we understood in case of installation is the place where you install the goods actually. However, your place of supply is that where goods actually goes. Correct, Bhumika? Here, in case of when you're shipping it to a unregistered person, right? Then it is the goods where it actually goes. And 10(1)(e) said that when the goods are supplied on board a conveyance, we'll come back to this again because we will see in the place of supply of services that there are some services supplied on board a conveyance. So, what is the difference between when goods are supplied on board a conveyance and services are supplied on board a conveyance? We will come back, but you need to remember this that when goods are supplied on board a conveyance, the place of supply will be the place shall be the location at which the goods are taken on board. Okay. Place of supply of services is mentioned in section 12. So we will read through the section 12 completely. What are the elements for deciding what is the place of supply for services? There are various aspects which will come in. One is location of service provider, assembly. I will tell you what is assembly. Location of service receiver, location of service provider, location of service receiver, where is the place of performance, where is the place of consumption. I may perform the service here, but you may consume it somewhere else. Are the actual beneficiary place, are the actual beneficiary as a person. There could be various elements. That's why in place of supply for goods, we could easily conclude it. But in case of place of supply of services, it will not be so very easy. Got it. So in case of place of supply of services, we'll have more detailed provisions because the place of firstly services is intangible and it can have so many factors which may affect it. Before that, we need to understand important definition. The definition is location of supplier of services. Why? Because we always say where the location of supplier and place of supply are in different state, then it is interstate. So we will read the place of supply. But location of supplier is also important. So what does the location of supplier of services say? It says that where the supply is made, that is the supplier's place, where the supply is made from a place of business for which registration is obtained. If you're making the supply from a place for which you have obtained a registration, then that location of such place of business is the place of is the location of the supplier, right? If he is registered, what is the address appearing in his registration certificate? That is the location of the supplier. If it is from a fixed establishment elsewhere, he has a registered office here, but the supply is happening from a different place, say a branch office or a remote office. From that place, if he is supplying something, then such fixed establishment will become the location of supplier. So not necessary that a registered person he can supply from anywhere and the location of supplier will be the registered office itself. Not necessary. From where he's providing the supply. That is important. So if he's providing the supply from some other place, then that place will become the location of the supplier. And if he has more than one establishment, whether place of business or if he has multiple place of business or he has multiple fixed establishment, location of the establishment, which is most directly concerned with the provision of supply, that will become the location of supplier. Did you get this? Because if we don't get this, then the other definition we may not get because we have location of receiver of services, which is similar to this. Can we repeat this? Okay. So location of supplier of services is dependent on various factors. So if the supplier provides service from his registered office and he's registered and he's providing services from that place, then that place will become the location of supplier. Now he's registered at one place, but actual service is providing from some other place. Then that some other place, which is a fixed establishment, it has to be a fixed establishment, can't be a temporary establishment. That fixed establishment will become the location of supplier, and where he's providing from multiple places, then one that location which has most direct concern with the provision of supply will become the location of supplier of services. And he does not have anything. He's not registered. He's not having a fixed establishment. He's only providing services on the cloud, right? Like Instagram influencer. They may not be registered. They may not be at one place. They may keep roaming out. Lot of travel blogs which people write. They keep traveling. So they're not registered anywhere and they don't have a fixed establishment from where they provide services. So where will they be treated as the supplier of services? Here it says, in the absence of such places, the usual place of residence. If he forms some office, fine. If not, and you're not able to determine the fixed establishment also, then the residential itself will become the location of supplier of services. Got it? Archana and Rajveer. What does most directly concern means? Hmm. एक ऑडिटर है ऑडिटर आपको सर्विस इज प्रोवाइडिंग यू सर्विसेज ही हैज अ ब्रांच ऑफिस इन आंध्रा and head office in Karnataka. Okay. And the services of audit will be billed from head office, assume. but services are provided by the Hyderabad branch. So that branch is directly concerned. I will only take decisions from here, but actual audit is happening from the branch office. So that place will be treated as the place which is directly concerned with the provision of supply. Okay. Similarly, you have location of supplier of goods is where the business is ordinarily carried on or where the goods themselves are located. Why? Because there is no definition of location of supplier of goods. We have a location of supplier of services, but there is a exclusion in location of supplier of goods because it is not that it is a error that government forgot to add the definition. It is intentional because it is goods where the goods are starting their journey from. That is the location of the supplier of goods. Now, location of recipient of services, location of supplier of services, we understood. Similarly, location of recipient of services, where supply is received at a place of business for which registration is obtained, then the location of such place of business. Where supply is received at a fixed establishment elsewhere, then location of such fixed establishment. And if it is received at more than one establishment, that location which actually takes that supply which is directly concerned with which establishment, that is the location of recipient. And if there is no any particular place, okay, then the usual place of residence. So this is the definition of location of supplier and location of recipient. Clear with this? Yeah, same what I had said, that how is the location of supplier of services. Similarly, there is location of recipient of services, where you have a fixed establishment, that is the place. If you do not have a fixed establishment, you have a registered office, then that is the place. If you have multiple offices, right, then which branch or which location is taking the service directly, that will be the location of recipient. And if you're not having a fixed establishment, you're not having registration, then your usual place of residence, that is your residential address where you are usually living, that will become the place of location of the recipient of services. Rajveer means that where supply is done will become the place of supply. We are not talking about place of supply. We are talking only of the location of supplier and location of the recipient. So for more than one establishment, can you give an example? Yes. Larson and Toubro, L&T, is into construction business. They have head office in Bombay. Okay. Now they have a project to be done of construction, right? For that, they have to appoint engineers, they have to appoint mechanical engineers, civil engineers, and everything. And this project is a huge project. The existing engineers cannot do it. So they appoint engineers at the site itself, and they say that you don't have to come to office, work at the site itself. So they'll work at the site itself. Now the site is in Uttarakhand. Now there, from there, they provide the services of this construction. The engineers will be staying there itself and they'll provide it. There they have a fixed establishment where that project site office itself will become a fixed establishment because that is a place where they're providing the services. So that place will become a fixed establishment. Okay. Now, that is the example of a fixed establishment elsewhere. Now, let's take to the third case. A big four or a audit firm is providing services of, say, internal audit, and various branches are getting involved. Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad. Three branches are getting involved. Now, which will be the place of supply or the location of supplier? That place which is providing the services more directly concerned. That is, where is the manager sitting, where he is taking the decision. That will be the location. So that location which is providing the, which is directly concerned with the supply of service, or if it's a receiver, that location which is directly concerned with receipt of the supply will become the location of recipient. Clear? So I gave you example for B and C both. Okay. Now, why are we going to section 12? Because the provisions of section 12 says it shall apply to determine the place of supply of services, where the location of supplier of services and location of the recipient of services are in India. We understood the definition of location of supplier and we understood the definition of location of recipient. So if both the supplier's location and the recipient's location is in India, huh? Only then we will go to section 12, because section 12 says section 12 are all in relation to domestic supply of services. Now, what if I am providing services to a foreign company or the recipient is outside India? Then section 13 will come. Section 13 says that in relation to supply of services where the service provider or service receiver is out of India, then it will get covered under section 13. Okay. So should we read 12 and 13? No. For the inter level, you have only section 12. Section 13 is not applicable for you. Okay. So what are we trying to do? We are trying to find out the place of supply for services where both the location of supplier and recipient both are in India. Okay. Now, when we start section 12, first rule is the general rule. Okay. The general rule is saying that what will be the place of supply. So location of supplier, location of recipient, छोटा छोटा definition था, हमने खत्म कर दिया है. अभी we are starting with the place of supply. Any doubt? Yeah. Okay. So 12 and 13. Now, when we go to 12, 12 says what is the general rule? General rule is first you check whether the 12.2, before entering into 12.2, go and check the other rules. That is Rule 12, subsection 3 to, that is section itself, section 12, subsection 3 to section 12, subsection 14. So there are section, subsection. Main section is section 12. It starts with section 1, section 2. And Rule 2, the section, subsection 2 says that to determine the place of supply, first go and check subsection 3 to subsection 14. If there is applicable for you, then you apply that relevant rule. Okay, like 12.3 says that if you are providing services in relation to an immovable property, then the place of supply will be so and so. So there is a specific section for immovable property. So I will go to that. If I keep going doing that, then I go to 12.3, then I go to 12.4, 12.5, 12.6, till the time I reach 12.14. If I am falling in any of these subsections, then that relevant section will apply to me. If none of that apply, then I will come to this general rule. You understood the flow chart that before getting into 12 subsection 2, you have to do a check from 12 subsection 3 to 12 subsection 14. If specifically some specific place of supply is provided for you, then you follow that. If that is not applicable for you, then come to 12 subsection 2. Okay. So we will come to 12 subsection 2. In 12 subsection 2, the general rule says that the place of supply of services which is made to a registered person is the location of the person receiving the services. Okay. When you're making a supply to a registered person, then the location of the person receiving the service will become the place of supply. And when you're supplying to an unregistered person, the location of such unregistered person, if address is available on the records, that will be the location, that will be the place of supply. And if the location of supplier of services, that is when the address of the recipient is not available, then it will go back to location of supplier of services itself. Clear? So this is a general rule that will apply for all services, saying that place of supply will be the place of recipient generally. If it's a registered person, it will be the person where that person is receiving the service. And in case of unregistered person, where the address is available. And if address is not available, then it will go back to location of supplier. Okay, so we'll come back to general rule because we have to, as we had said in 12.2 through the flowchart, we have to go to specific sections. If specific services applies to us, well and good. If not, then we'll go back to 12.2. 12.3 says that services in relation to an immovable property or lodging or accommodation in a hotel, boat, vessel, etc. What will be the place of supply where the supplier of service relating to immovable property or lodging, accommodation in a hotel, boat, vessel, or accommodation in an immovable property for social, business, religious, or cultural functions. If the immovable property is located in India, then the place of supply will be location of such immovable property. That is where such house, where such hotel, where such boat is located, that will become the place of supply. And in case that immobile property is located outside India, then the place of supply will be the location of recipient. Okay. So when you go to a hotel, you stay there for 5 days. The hotel is situated in Kulu Manali. You are registered in Tamil Nadu. Okay. Who is the supplier? The hotelier in Kulu Manali. He is having a hotel in Kulu Manali. You are a recipient who are in Tamil Nadu. You are registered in Tamil Nadu. You go to Kulu Manali and stay. So, what should the supplier charge you is the question. What GST will he charge you? You understood the facts correctly? Bhuma is saying the place of supply is Kulu Manali, but I'm registered in Tamil Nadu. Any other views? Where that hotel is located, correct. So local is located in Kulu Manali. So you are also saying the place of supply is Kulu Manali. We received service in Kulu Manali. So place of supply is Kulu Manali. That is the place of supply. Correct. So in case of immobile property, you guys are very clear that where that immobile property is located, that is the place of supply. Okay. But if that immobile property is outside India, okay. Now let's take an example. Then what will be the place of supply? I am in India and the architect is also in India. Now architect will provide service to me of the drawing of the property. Like I have a land, now he has to construct a building, he'll give me drawing and other things, he'll decide everything. So that's the role of a architect. Now this architect is drawing and giving to me for my property which is located in Australia. Okay, since my property is located in Australia, he's traveled there, check the property and giving the drawing to me. Here, what will be the place of supply? Australia. Location of recipient. As it is outside India, it will be the place of recipient. Since the architect travel outside India to provide the service, place of supply is Australia. Okay. Any other views? Location of recipient, location of recipient. Yes. So even though the architect has traveled to Australia, but he is providing services in relation to such immobile property. And here it clearly says that even though he's traveled outside India, the place of supply will not become outside India. The place of supply will become the location of the recipient itself. And provided the recipient should be in India, because 12 we started that both the location of supplier and recipient are in India. Even if one of them are outside India, then 12 will not apply itself, will go to section 30, right? The architect is in Chandigarh and I am sitting in Bangalore and the property is in Australia, the place of supply will be Bangalore because the location of the recipient is important if the property is outside India. If the property is inside India, then where that property is located, that will become the place of supply. Clear? Now, what do you mean by any services directly in relation to the immobile property? Okay. So, when we say 12 subsection 3, any services in relation to the immobile property, there could be direct relation or indirect relation. Direct relation is like how we have given example of an architect, a interior decorator, or a surveyor that who does a survey of a property, or engineers and related experts, and estate agents, that is who get brokerage for referring you a property. those all these services will be that where the property is located itself. So that's why the place of supply will be where the immovable property is located. Even for an estate agent, that is a broker, he's giving a house to you. He should also, his services also is in relation to this immovable property itself. Then granting of rights. Grant of rights to any immovable property for carrying out coordination and construction work will be the where that immovable property is located. You may have to grant some rights in relation to the immovable property. They are also in relation to the immovable property. Then lodging accommodation, like we had given example of the person from Bangalore going and staying in Kulu Manali. In that will be covering hotels, in guest house, homestay, clubs or campsite, or houseboat or any vessel. Even houseboat will be in one state. They'll not go from houseboat will be a boat which is there in the waters, right? Still, it will be treated as a immovable property itself. Accommodation in a immovable property for organizing any marriage or reception or any matters which is related thereto. That is, any official, social, or cultural functions. Okay, including services provided in relation to such functions at such property, where you are doing a destination wedding. Okay, then where that destination is located, that will become the place of supply. And then any services ancillary to the services referred to in this clauses also will be in relation to that immovable property, right? They say flower decoration. That person is coming from some other state, but he is providing services in relation to your mantapam. So it will become a service provided in relation to the immovable property. Clear? So those were the examples what we had in relation to 12 subsection 3 services in relation to an immovable property. Okay. Now, services in relation to an immovable property, if we understand this further, instances where immovable property is located in more than one state, then proportion to the value for which the service is determined in terms of contract or agreement. That is, when you have a fixed contract, okay, with a hotel, saying that I will use, you have branches all across India, I will go and stay anywhere. So, what will be the place of supply? So, wherever you are actually staying, okay, that will become the place of supply. Today, you're staying in Bangalore, that will become the place of supply. You're staying in Hyderabad, that will become the place of supply. You're staying in Jammu and Kashmir, that will become the place of supply. So wherever you are located, that will become the place of supply. It will not be that, okay, the sale happened from Bangalore, so place of supply will be Bangalore. No. If you're being given vouchers saying that you can redeem these vouchers at 10 places. So when at the time of redemption, whichever branch redeems it, that will become the place of supply. And what happens in case of absence of a contract? When you do not have a contract, then you have to follow the rule 4 of the IGST rules. We'll come to that rule 4. The rule 4 says that where you are, okay, and it is in multiple states, then number of nights, how many nights you stay in the property, that will be the place of supply. Okay, like how I had said that if you're staying in Bombay, that much. So how do you determine how much you have stayed in Bombay, how much you have stayed in Delhi, how much you have stayed in Bangalore? On number of nights stayed in such property. Okay. So if you are getting a consolidated bill from a hotel and saying that you are staying at different places. So for each state where you have stayed at, that will become the place of supply. Okay. And accommodation is in a immovable property for organizing events or lodging where property is located in two contiguous states. Matlab, two states are attached together and the property is in between them. Okay. This is state A and this is state B. Now this property is located like this. It is in state A also partly and it is in state B also partly. So what will be the place of supply? There it says the place of supply will be on the basis of area of the immobile property which is lying in each state. So for this, if you're charging 2 lakh rupees and say if this area is 20,000 square feet and this area is 10,000 square feet. So you will charge GST in the ratio of 2 is to 1 because 20,000 is to 10,000. For this state, whatever you're getting, 20%, two-third will go here and here, one-third will go to this state. Okay. What will be the case of cruise, where time spent on vessel in each state, housing boat or a vessel or a cruise, time spent on vessel in each state. When they travel, they know on which state borders they are there. A declaration which is made by the service provider, basis that you will decide which state you have to pay the GST. Yes, this section 12 is in the IGST Act. Correct, Bhumika. Then two states GST. You have to take registration two separate states and charge. You're right. Well, 4 says what? When restaurant and catering service or personal grooming, fitness or beauty and health services are being provided. Okay. Where restaurant or catering services provided or any kind of personal grooming, fitness, beauty and health services provided, the place of supply will be or say plastic surgery, including cosmetic and plastic surgery, is the location where such services are actually performed. Okay. Shehnaz Hussain. She's a famous beautician. Now, for your marriage, you will call her. She comes from Bombay. She's registered in Bombay. She comes to your wedding in Bangalore. Okay. So she's registered in Bombay. Shouldn't she raise invoice of IGST because location of supplier is Mumbai, place of supply is in Bangalore? Should she charge IGST or no? No. Then what should she charge? Sunil Kumar saying IGST, Neeraj is saying IGST, yes, supply between two states, IGST, CGST and SGST. Since it is supply of service from Maharashtra to Karnataka. So how can it be all the three, Bhuma? Service is provided in Bangalore itself, so it is intrastate, Rajveer sir. How is it intrastate? And Boma, how are you saying that IGST, CGST, SGST all will be charged? It will be either CGST or SGST, CGST and SGST, or IGST. Can't be all the three. Place of supply will be where it is actually performed. So it will be CGST and SGST. No, just rethink about your answers. We are saying IGST will be charged and place of supply will be Bangalore. Right. So it will be that Shahnaz Hussain, her location of supplier, that we have to understand. What is her location? Is the location getting changed? No. Location is not getting changed anytime. So location of supplier is not getting changed. Location of supplier is Mumbai itself. Place of supply is where she is actually performed. She is performing it in Bangalore. So the location of supplier is in Mumbai, place of supply is in Bangalore. She will charge IGST itself. It's a correct thing. Okay. Got it? So location of supplier and place of supply both are important. Don't just concentrate on place of supply. It has to go with hand in hand with the location of supplier. If the location of supplier would have been in the same state, then CGST and SGST would work. If since the location of supplier is outside the state and place of supply is in a different state, so it will be IGST transaction. Okay. So this was the example. So even if a correct, this I have taken the example to understand. Now 12.4, 12.3 was relation to immovable property. 12.4 is in relation to actual performance. That is where in case of a grooming and things are there, where the service recipient, wherever the service is actually performed, that will become the place of supply. Now 12.5 is in case of a training and performance appraisal services. You need a employee and you have employees. You want to give training to them, soft skill training and anything. Okay. So the place of supply of this training and performance appraisal services will be in relation to training and performance appraisal depends on whether the supply is to a B2B and B2C. We said no in the last session, what is B2B and B2C is important. So here is the relevance of that. If you are supplying it to B2B, okay, then the place of supply is the location of such person. That is, what is the location of such person? Where the registered office is located. Okay, so in case of a B2B, the place of supply is the location of such person. And in case of a B2C supply, the place of supply is the place where the service is actually performed. So each rule is different. You have to understand the nature of service and apply the rule. So if there is any training provided to your employees, you are registered. Even if the training is provided somewhere else, ultimate receiving is the company because company wants the employees to learn. Companies will go attend the training and come back, right? So the trainer is in Mumbai. Okay. Trainer is in Mumbai and you are registered in Bangalore. Okay. This person, you have contacted him to provide training services to your employees. He said, why to do it in Mumbai? Let us take them to Goa. So he takes all the employees to Goa and he conducts training there. Okay. Now, if this company B, who is in Bangalore, if this is registered, then you tell me what is the place of supply. Place of supply, Boomer is saying Bangalore. Priya Mishra is also saying Bangalore. A lot of people are saying Bangalore. Why? My training was in Goa, no? Goa state कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. Correct. Since it's a B2B transaction and 12.5 says that where the person is located, that will be the place. Has it been unregistered? Then it will be actual performance. That will be the Goa location. Correct. 12.5 Boomer, not 12.4. So training and performance is 12.5. Clear? We understood. And when it is unregistered, like if this fellow was unregistered, then the place of supply will be Goa, which is the place where the services actually perform. Next is 12.6, where services by way of admission to a event, amusement park, or other places. When you have to go for an exhibition, like an amusement park, what will be the place of supply? Very simple. The place of supply will be where services provided by way of admission to any cultural event, sports, educational, scientific, or anything. Then services provided by way of admission to an amusement park are services ancillary to the above. The place of supply will be where the event is actually held or where the park or such other places located. Because you're getting entry to this amusement park. So the place of supply will be where this amusement park is located. Correct. That place where we are going, that will be the place of supply. Similar to immobile property services, where that place is located, that will become the place of supply. So that is 12.6. Now 12.7. 12.7 says where you are organizing an event. Okay. If you are organizing an event and the services in relation to organization of events or assigning of sponsorship to the events, then if the recipient is registered, then the location of recipient will become the place of supply. If the recipient is registered, then the location of recipient will become the place of supply. Wherever the location. This is different from 12.6 because 12.6 was entry ticket. Now this is a event, but here's the service is organizing of that event. Okay. So in this case, the place of supply will be where is the location of the recipient and when it is provided to a registered person. Which means if we analyze this further, organizing of an event in India or outside India, organizing of an event in India or outside India where the recipient is unregistered. And if that event is in India, the place of supply will be the location where the event is held. And if the event is outside India, then it becomes the location of recipient. Similar to immovable property services, where the immovable property is located in India, that will become the place of supply. So even in this case, where the event is in India, location where the event is held, that will become the place of supply. And where the event is outside India, then the location of the recipient will become the place of supply. To understand this, say Britannia. Britannia wants to organize the event for all of its dealers. Who is organizing it? Britannia is organizing it, for which it calls for a event management company, saying that this is my plan. You have to completely plan the event. So this event management company is in specialized and it is in Delhi. Now they do this event in Bangalore. Okay. Since the recipient, in our case, Britannia, say it is not registered, then if they conduct the event in India, that is in Bangalore, then the place of supply will be Bangalore. Now, Britannia says, no, do it outside India. If they do it outside India, where the location of recipient is there, it is in India, that will become the place of supply. But in our case, say Britannia is registered. In that case, even if the event is held outside India or event is held in some other state, where is the recipient registered? Because in case of recipient is registered, then the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Clear? So till here we had all clear, simple cut case. Any questions till now? We'll take a break after your questions, then go to 12.8 onwards. There's also clarification in terms of 12.3. Okay, we'll take that, Priya. That we have already considered. I don't see any more. That is in relation to advertisement sector. We'll come to that. 12.7 and 12.6. What is the difference? So 12, when we go to 12.7, it is organizing an event, and 12.6 is for the entry charges of that event. So one is having the event completely. Who will be the recipient? A company will be the recipient, or the company who wants that event to happen, they will be the recipient. But in 12.6, it will not be for a particular recipient where you are admitting various people. The entry charges that is covered in 12.6. What if an unregistered person makes event outside India? Then the place of supply will still be in India. Where since it is where the one thing for clear Bhumika is where the supplier and recipient are in India. Even if you are holding that event outside India, the place of supply will be India because government doesn't want to leave away the tax. That's why, because if they say the place of supply is outside India, then there'll be no GST chargeable because it will be treated as an export, and exports are not chargeable to GST. Okay, so the place of supply will they will bring it to India itself. Clear, Dhanush? Clear, Bhumika? Okay. We'll take a break of around 5 to 10 minutes. and we'll come back and continue from 12.7. 12.7 is also over. We'll continue with 12.8. So we were discussing on 12.7, right? So where the event is organized, and if it is to a registered person, that will become the place of supply. If it is to an unregistered person, where the event is held. If it is in India, if it is outside India, location of recipient. Now, if the event is held in more than one state and a consolidated amount is charged, same like our example, say Tata company wants to hold events in three different states and it will be a consolidated amount. If it is to a registered person, then no problem because where the event is conducted, will that be the place of supply? So Tata company holds events in multiple states. Okay. And Tata is registered. So if it conducts events in three places, will the place of supply be those individual locations? No. Then what it is? Place of supply will be the place of Tata company as it is registered. Correct. Since Tata company is registered, place of supply will be the place of recipient, that is Tata company. Exactly correct. So we understood that where the recipient is located is registered, that will be the place of supply. Correct. So that is what this says, that even if the event is held in more than one state, that will not matter because the when it is supplied to a registered person, place of supply will be always to the location of recipient. But when it is supplied to an unregistered person, there may be an issue because there the place of supply is deemed to be in each of the respective state because when the event is held in multiple states where that event is held, in that proportion you have to charge the GST. Now how do you decide the proportion? The rule says very simply that if there is a contract and in the contract it is mentioned that my budget is for 5 lakhs for one state, 6 lakhs for another state, 7 lakhs for another state. Okay. In proportion of the value of service, you will decide it. But if there is a absence of contract, there is no contract, then what is the generally accepted accounting principles? On that basis, how you will apportion, that will become the place of supply. Got it? So proportion basis are generally accepted accounting principle in case of this itself, in case of specifically for organizing of events cases. Okay. Next, 12.8. 12.8 is in case of transportation of goods, including mail or courier. Okay. So in case of transporting of goods, the place of supply of service by way of transportation of goods, including by mail or courier, when it is provided to a registered person, will be the location of such person. Most of the thing we have seen when it is provided to a registered person, then the location of such person will be the place of supply. However, where such services are provided to an unregistered person, the place of supply, not the address, not where you're delivering, it is the location at which such goods are handed over for their transportation. Simple, right? In case of courier, when you give the documents to the courier agency, when you give the goods to the courier agency, there they will give the bill. So considering they said where you are giving the handover of these documents or the handover of the goods, that will become the place of supply. Okay.
Sir, I have a doubt. What do you mean by such services are provided to an unregistered person? Means the courier is being provided to the person who's unregistered.
Correct.
Okay. So we say that the services are being provided to the person who has ordered
Correct.
something
So
and the goods are being delivered to that person. If he is unregistered, then the location will be, then the place of supply will be the location
the
where the goods are
location
being
where you
delivered.
hand over their goods,
Yeah, where the goods are being delivered.
not delivered, because you are going to a courier agency for delivering the goods to ICAI New Delhi. You say you are from which state?
Delhi.
Okay, you're in Delhi itself. So say you are sending it to Board of Studies in Mumbai. Okay. So the destination or the goods will get delivered to Mumbai, but that is not the place of supply because you are handing over the goods to the courier agency at Delhi. Correct. So
Okay.
Delhi will become the place of supply.
Okay.
And if the goods are transported outside India, but supplier and recipient are in India, here the place of supply will be the destination of such goods. Now the destination will be outside the country, so it will be a export of services because it is a any place of supply which is outside India, then it will be a export of service. Yeah, very good question. Somya has asked, sir, you're telling registered, unregistered, fine. Now enough is enough. Now you tell me how do I identify whether it is registered or unregistered? So when you raise an invoice, if the recipient says that mention my GST number, okay, because he wants the credit, then it will mean that he is a registered person. And if he does not give the GST number, then it is a unregistered person. Clear, Somya? Next question is, sir, to an unregistered person for 12/8, POS is the place where the goods are sent for delivery to other person? No. The place where you hand over the goods, right? Where you are giving the goods to be couriered can be any other place. That where you are handing it over, that is the place of supply. 12/8 courier is very simple. Don't get confused. There is not delivery based. Where you give the goods, if you are unregistered, where you hand over the goods, that is the place of supply. 12/9 passenger transport services. Passenger transport services means transportation of passenger where the recipient is registered. The location of recipient is the place of supply. Now, a company sends its employees through a passenger transport, say railways, because any type of passenger transport will get covered. It could be railways, it could be bus services, it could be flight services, anything where it is a passenger transport services or issue of right to passage for future use and the point of boarding not known at the time of right to passage, which means you're getting 10 flight coupons. Okay, you're getting 10 flight coupons. You can fly anywhere in India with these coupons. Each coupon costs 6,000 rupees. Now you can use it for a flight which is charging 3,000 rupees. You can use it for a flight which is charging 10,000 rupees. But they have given you 6,000 rupees. If you are registered, wherever you do it, doesn't matter, wherever you travel within India, because those coupons are one for travel only within India. So the place of supply will be, if you are registered, the location of the recipient. Why in all these cases we see location of recipient? Because if it's a registered person, wherever you're traveling, it will be for the registered office use itself or to the person who is availing the service. So their place of supply will always be where the registered person is located. That's why you see that in most of the services, receive where the recipient is registered, the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Okay. And in case where the recipient is unregistered, okay, in case of passenger transportation, location where the passenger embarks on the conveyance for a continuous journey. Embarks ka matlab where he gets into the conveyance. Location where the passenger gets into the conveyance. There is a train moving from Bangalore to Delhi. In between, the passenger steps in Hyderabad, which is in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So the place of supply will not become Bangalore because the journey of the train started from Bangalore. Where did the passenger embark? He embarked in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So that will become the place of supply. So if it is to an unregistered person, where that passenger embarks, that will become the place of supply. And when you are giving 10 vouchers to a person who can use it and he's unregistered, in that case, if the address of the unregistered person is available, then the location of such unregistered person. If that is not available, then the location of supplier. Okay. This is same like 12.2, where the address of the person is available, then that is the place of supply. If address is not available, then the location of supplier of service. Clear with this? If the supplier is unregistered, he will still follow this because if the supplier is registered, then he will charge GST. If the supplier is unregistered, he will firstly not charge GST at all. So place of supply will not apply. Place of supply applies to a person who is registered. Twelve ten, where services is supplied on board conveyance. How can they identify registration details of passengers? They're just giving a ticket and you're buying it. If you are registered, you will go to a booking office, give your GST number and book it, right? Then you're a registered person. If you're just buying a ticket, you're always unregistered, right? If you are unregistered, they will charge you different GST. If you're registered, they will charge you a different GST. That's the only difference. But they will not, it will not be a case that if you're registered, no GST, right? It will still be GST. Instead of charging GST and you getting the credit, you will not get the credit. That's the only difference. Clear? Now, services supplied on board a conveyance. The place of supply. will be the location of first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance, right? Now, when a train or a flight, let's take an example of a flight. Flight is starting from Chennai. There is a pit stop in Delhi, and from Delhi, it is going to Jammu. Okay. Now, you boarded the flight at Delhi. This was a hop on stop, and you boarded at Delhi. While you were from Delhi to Jammu and Kashmir, you're at this point when the flight was flying at Chandigarh, you took some services because you're talking about services supply, service supplied on board a conveyance. What service you took? You took a service of music. Okay. You took a music service here. Now you tell me what is the place of supply for this music service. They've charged you 500 rupees for this and GST they have to charge. So the A hostess comes and asks you, sir, I know you're a CA student or madam, you're a CA student. Please tell me what GST should I charge you? The flight company supplier of service is in Chennai. This is Chennai. This is Chandigarh. Priya, first tell me what is the place of supply. Then we will decide if it's CGST and SGST. Don't come to that conclusion as yet. You may be right. Rajveer is saying Chandigarh. Soumya is saying Chennai is the place of supply. Bhumika is telling Chennai. Okay. Everybody is saying Chennai. The place of supply is Chennai, not Chandigarh, Rajveer, because Chandigarh ho ya kahan pe bhi ho, where the flight is flying, each place I cannot decide, right? That will become very hypothetical to decide which place you're consuming the service. That's why the place of supply service says if you're providing any service, even though you're boarded the flight at Delhi, since the first scheduled point of departure was Chennai, the place of supply is Chennai. Now, the location of supplier, I said it is in Chennai itself, and as rightly mentioned by Ms. Priya, the location of supplier is in Chennai, place of supply is in Chennai. So the supplier will charge CGST and SGST, even though Chennai is not in the picture. Because to get the clarity, they've said that where is the flight first getting the first departure, that will become the place of supply. Okay. Now, you boarded in Delhi itself and you bought a chips while you were here. Okay. While you were in some state, I don't know the state, maybe it is Chandigarh or maybe it is Delhi. Here you bought some chips. Now, Air Hostess comes to you again and saying that, sir, CA, sir, please tell me what GST should I charge for this chips. So we have discussed, right? This provision we had discussed. Riya, I bought chips. I boarded in Delhi. Music, I did it here, but I bought chips. So what will be the place of supply for this? Bhumika is saying where he is onboarded. Who onboarded? We boarded Delhi. Yes. Vemuri Janvi is saying CGST and IGST. Oh God, how can it be CGST and IGST? The hand in hand goes with CGST and SGST. Can't be CGST and IGST. Rajveer is saying Chennai. Soumya is saying where the goods were taken on board. Okay. Now they started at Chennai, so you take that. This is the place where the goods were onboarded. Chips are onboarded from Chennai and chips bought by recipient boarded from Delhi. So Chennai, good. And so wherever you buy the chips, the place of supply will be where the goods are onboarded. In this case, the goods are onboarded in Chennai. So the place of supply will be Chennai. If the goods are onboarded in Delhi, then the place of supply will be Delhi. Correct. If it is Chennai, it will be CGST and SGST. If it is Delhi, it will be IGST because supplier is in Chennai, place of supply is in Delhi. One very interesting thing. Vemuri Janvi, are you clear with CGST, SGST, and IGST? So can CGST and IGST be a combination anytime? No. Correct. So if it is intrastate supply, it will always be CGST and SGST. And if it is an interstate supply, it will always be IGST. Is it clear, Janvi?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So always CGST and SGST you will charge when you conclude that it is an intrastate supply or within the state supply. And if it is an interstate supply, you will charge IGST. Okay. Clear. So 1210 is cleared. Next is 1211. Telecommunication services. What happens? What is the place of supply in case of a telecommunication services when you have a fixed communication line, lease circuit line, internal line, cable or dish TV, what we generally use at homes, right? The place of supply will be the location where the telecommunication line, lease circuit, cable connection, or dish antenna is installed for recipient of services. So wherever that installation happens, that is the place of supply. Okay, wherever this is getting installed, the set-top box, if it is getting installed at your house, that is the place of supply because that is where the actual consumption happens, right? Very simple because it is where the actual instrument is located. Next is postpaid mobile connection and internet. Why? Because in prepaid it will be different, in postpaid it will be different. So in case of postpaid mobile connection, location of billing address of the recipient of services, wherever you are giving your billing address. Registration is not a criteria in any of these things. Your billing address is the criteria. And location of supplier of services if the address is not available. Mostly it will not be there because generally in postpaid you have to send an invoice. So that's why the address, what is there in the bill, that will become the place of supply. Clear? Other telecommunication service also will there, like prepaid. Now in prepaid, what happens? You can do the recharge from a selling agent, reseller, or a distributor. So there You will not give address because when you go and do a recharge, you're not giving your address or anything. So address of that selling agent or reseller or distributor will become the place of supply. Clear? लेकिन ये भी जमाना चला गया. We don't go to the agent. We do it all online, right? So where any prepaid services, the payment for which is made through internet banking or electronic mode, you all use Google Pay, or you use Amazon Pay, or you use Cred. So location of recipient of services in the in the records of the supplier, that will become the place of supply. Where there are physical movement, then the person where the person is recharging, that is a place of supply. And where it is a prepaid services where you're doing it online, then the supplier will have the location, right? Because he's giving you a SIM card, he's taken your Aadhaar card, he's taken your KYC. So he has your records. Then where is your address? That will become the place of supply. Now, if you are doing a recharge service is provided by any person to a final consumer subscriber, then location where such prepayment is received or vouchers are sold, similar to our agents. And in other cases, the address of the recipient as per the records. And if the address is not available, then the supplier of service. Say some SIM was given, right, without address. Then in that case, the supplier of service itself will become the place of supply. Twelve 12 says in case of a financial and stockbroking services. In this case, where the recipient details are available in the records. Okay. Yeah. Some question. If the postpaid internet service bill is paid through Google Pay, still, what is the postpaid service criteria where the address is available? So that will happen. The other criteria for payment through internet, all of that will apply for prepaid services. So whatever we have discussed for postpaid, that apply to the postpaid by whatever modes you make the payment. Because here they should have distinguished, they have not distinguished. So this will be the universal rule which will apply. Can you explain prepaid once again? Sure. So postpaid you understood, and this one you understood, correct? Where the physical document is there, physical device is there. Now we'll go to prepaid. Prepaid, there are various modes, right? So first is when you do a prepaid recharge to a काका की दुकान से वहां पे जाके आप रिचार्ज करोगे, तो फिर जो एजेंट है वो या डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर है जो रिचार्ज करेगा, वेयर दैट पर्सन इज लोकेटेड, दैट विल बी योर प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई. यू आर कमिंग from Tamil Nadu doing recharge in Karnataka, you can do it, right? Anywhere, other states recharge also, you can do it here. Earlier, there were some restrictions. Now, any other states recharge also, you can do it here. So, you're doing a prepaid recharge for 100 rupees. In Karnataka, if you do it, that person is sitting in Karnataka, the place of supply will be Karnataka itself. Now, if you're buying a voucher, where that voucher you're buying, that is the place of supply. Second, now you're doing a recharge through online. In that case, the company, supplier, Amazon, if you enter your mobile number, they will give you which mobile uh, subscriber it is used to. Is it Airtel, Vodafone? It means they can fetch the data from the Airtel company or from the telecommunication company. When they can fetch the data from the telecommunication company, then they can also get the detail of which state you have taken the SIM, right? So since they have the record, that address is available, that will become the place of supply. Clear? ठीक है. So we understood telecommunication services. Next is financial and stockbroking services, where the recipient's details are available in the records, then the location of recipient. And if the location of recipient of services is not available, then the location of supplier. Very simple. Where the recipient's address is available, location of recipient. Where the location of recipient of services is not available, his address is not there, then the location of supplier. 1213, in case of insurance services, when provided to a registered person, location of the recipient. When it is provided to an unregistered person, it will not become the supplier. Then it will become location of recipient of the services in the records of the supplier, because they will have the address. When they have to take some insurance, they have to give the address. So the address, what is available, that will become the place of supply. So insurance services will always be the recipient's place itself will become the place of supply. Then 1240, which is advertisement services to the government. Now, this is a very detailed, very detailed, because you have to go to rule 3. So what we'll do is 1214, we'll take it in the next session, because 12.2 to 12.13 itself was a huge marathon. And I'm very happy that you were in with me and you could discuss that in detail. 1214 is a little complicated, so we'll not take this now and confuse you. We'll take it in the next class. Okay. So we went from 12.3 to 12.14, and then we saw that what is the place of supply for 12.1 is saying that, okay, follow this. Then we went to 12.2. 12.2 said us go to 12.3 and then go to 12.14. If you're falling under this, then you go to that. Otherwise, come back to 12.2. So we came across all of these. Now, say there is a chartered accountant who's providing services. Will it fall under any of these 12.3 to 12.14? Or any consultancy services? Is it falling under 12.3 to 12.14? That is not falling. So what we have to do? We have to go to the general rule. So what is this general rule saying us? Come to 12.2. 12.2 will tell you what is the place of supply. There cannot be anything which does not have a place of supply. If 12.3 to 12.14 is not satisfied, we'll come back to 12.2. 12.2 says that where the supply is made to a registered person, then the location of the person receiving the service, that is the recipient's location, will become the place of supply. And if it is supplied to an unregistered person, then if the address is available, say you have a client, a chartered accountant is providing services to an individual. He is not registered. He's only filing his income tax return. His address is available. So wherever his address is available, he's staying in Delhi. His place of residence is in Delhi. From Bangalore, if I'm providing CA services, ITR filing services, I'll charge him fees and charge him CGST, SGST, or IGST. Did you understand my question? What will be the tax which I have to charge? IGST and place of supply is in Bangalore. Wrong. If recipient is in another state, IGST and SGST, and same state, CGST and SGST. No, Puma, your answer is wrong. So why are you getting confused with IGST and SGST? When it is interstate supply, you will charge only one tax. If it is in within state, you will charge two taxes. Now you tell me, I've given you the facts. In this facts, what tax I have to charge? The question, Bhumika, is I am a chartered accountant in Bangalore. I am providing income tax return filing services. The client's ITR, usme address I get to know it is in Delhi. So what GST should I charge? Bhuma, right? Other state, only IGST, same state, CGST and SGST. Correct. Yeah, Rajveer and Soumya have given the correct answer. Bhumika, what is the place of supply in this case? Place of supply is Delhi. Correct. Location of supplier is Bangalore. Place of supply is Delhi. So I will charge IGST. Okay. Now we understood that under general rule, when the recipient is address is available or recipient is registered, then that will become the place of supply. Now, I was sitting in my office, or a person came, I don't know from which state he is. He told me to do some certification. I verified the documents, did the certification. I have not retained anything. Now, to that person, say he told me roughly that he is from Delhi, right? But I don't have any records. So, what GST should I charge to him for the certification? What I've done? Location of CA, so CGST, SGST, right. The location of supplier itself will become the place of supply because the recipient address is not available. So it will be CGST. Bhumika, location of supply is Bangalore. Is place of supply IGST should be changed? No. Location of supplier is Bangalore and place of supply is Bangalore. So what is it? It is an intrastate supply. On intrastate supply, what do you charge? You will charge CGST and SGST. So why IGST then? There's a difference that he is vaguely telling that the recipient is from Delhi and mentioned in the records or of the supplier Delhi, right? No, he's just saying that he is from Delhi, but In the documents, there was no evidence that he was from Delhi. Okay. So just on a oral conversation, he said he's from Delhi. But the documents were not related to Delhi. It was a general document of the income details. So I just took his balance sheet. In their address was not mentioned. His name and PAN was mentioned. So that's when I will tell that it will be place of supply will be Bangalore itself. Okay. So when other rules fail, then it will come to general rules. So chartered accountant services, consultancy services, any software services, all of that will fall under 12(2). Clear? Now, what we'll do is before getting into 12(14), we will take up some MCQs so we can understand whether we have understood the subject properly or no. So I have MCQs for place of supply for goods and MCQs for place of supply for services. We'll take both. MCQs for place of supply for goods. Yeah, some question. Doctor service also comes under this. Doctor services will not come under anything because doctor services are exempted. Healthcare services are exempted, so it will not come under any of those things. So this place of supply applies to only those people who are providing taxable services. Yep. So tell me, in this case, what will be the place of supply? Question is saying that Ram Limited of Maharashtra contracts with Shyam Limited Rajasthan to sell his old used furniture for 1,50,000 rupees. The goods will be delivered to Shyam Limited at Gujarat to his new branch, which is now registered under GST. So identify the place of supply if the delivery was made by Ram Limited at his own risk. Correct. So 10(1)(a) will be the relevant section where the goods are getting terminated for delivery. The goods are getting terminated at Gujarat because Ram Limited said that I will deliver the goods to you. So the correct answer is Gujarat. Yeah. Somebody was saying Rajasthan. Rajasthan is not the case, right? It is Gujarat itself. Isn't this bill to ship to? No. Where does it come as bill to ship to transaction? Where is the third party involved? In bill to ship to, three parties should get involved. Are there three parties here? It's only Ram Limited and Sham Limited. This I'm not sure because if we have discussed this, I think we would have discussed this. What is the definition of exports according to GST? DEP, no. Export with its grammatical expression and cognate expression. Definition of export is taking out of India to a place outside India. That is for export of goods. For export of services, location of supplier should be India, recipient should be outside India, is fine. That is for services. But for goods, just sale to a foreign company, but you're delivering somewhere here, that will not be treated as export. For export of goods to qualify as exports, the goods should go out of India. So the correct answer is taking out of India to a place outside India. Dhanush, the question here is what is the definition of exports in GST law? So the exports according to GST law is when you take out the goods outside India. You have to ship the goods outside India, only then it is export of goods. Otherwise, it is not. If you're getting currency, foreign currency, but you're not taking the goods outside India, then it will not be treated as export of goods. Any supply to a SEZ. Please remember that SEZ can be in your state or SEZ can be in another state. Supply to SEZ is always treated as a interstate supply. It is zero rated supply. Yes, it is definitely zero rated supply because all exports and supply to SEZ is a zero rated. it will, the place of supply for SEZ, even though you're in Karnataka, the SEZ also is in Karnataka. Both are moving within Karnataka, but SEZ will be treated as a country outside India for all tax purposes. So, supply from your unit to SEZ is a interstate transaction. Okay. Supply from your place to SEZ is interstate. Supply from SEZ to a non-SEZ is also an interstate. Okay. Rajveer, IGST to C. Okay. After that, so in case of a bill to ship to transaction, we have two transactions. Correct. A is delivering the goods to B. So, but on whose direction? On C's direction. So A will bill to C and then C will have to bill B. So come tell the complete transaction. Harsh Kaur, no. Meenu, no. The answer is both B and C, which is A will charge IGST to C and C will charge IGST to B. Correct? Bill to ship to transaction. So in bill to ship to transaction, there'll be two GST transactions which will attract. So A will charge C and C will charge B, which is D, because both B and C are the correct answer. A will charge to C and C will charge to B. Correct, Boo. Considering the machine is an immobile property, is machine an immobile property? Machine is not an immobile property. Machine is a movable property. That's why they have leased it and From Delhi, they have sent to Uttar Pradesh. Had it been movable property, they couldn't have moved it. Machine is not a immobile property. Machine is a movable property. In this case, the place of supply is where the machine is already located, right? So few people are saying New Delhi, few people are saying no. If you have given the New Delhi piece. So he gave it on lease. Lease is the service on which he has charged IGST because location of supplier and place of supply are in different states. But that is not the question. After 14 months, what happened? Mr. B has requested that Mr. A to sell the machine to him. Now, where is the machine lying? It is already lying in Noida. So there is no movement of goods getting involved. When there is no movement of goods getting involved, what is the place of supply? The place of supply is where the machine is located, and machine is already located in Noida. So the place of supply is Noida. So you have to mention the correct reasoning. Even B is Noida, but it is not Mr. B's location which is relevant. Relevancy is the location where the machine is held. Machine is there in Noida. That's why the place of supply is Noida. Clear? 10(1)(b), Priya, if I'm not mistaken. Not 12(2). 12 is for services. This is goods, right? 10(1)(b). Sorry, 10(1)(c). Yeah, 10(1)(c). Okay, we'll take one last MCQ. Pure Refineries gives a contract to PQ Limited to assemble a power plant in its Kutch, Gujarat refinery. Determine the place of supply. Your relevant provision is 10(1)(d), where the goods are getting assembled, right? The goods are getting assembled at Kutch, so the place of supply is Kutch. Ajit ji? Okay, we'll take one more MCQ. RCom Limited is having its registered office at Delhi. It purchases huge generator set from Cummins India, which is located in Pune. Now, RCom wants to install this generator set at its branch located in Pune. What will be the place of supply in this case? Option A, what? Will be Pune, but within Pune you have B and C. Is it B or C? B, correct. Being the place of installation. So where there is an installation or assembly required, that will become the place of supply. What will be the place of supply of goods supplied in a train which is heading towards Delhi from Thiruvananthapuram if the goods were taken on board from Coimbatore? Yes, Bhumika. Okay. Where the goods are taken on board a conveyance, the place of supply will be not Thiruvananthapuram. The place of supply will be the where the goods are taken on board a conveyance. And in this case, even though the train is starting from Delhi, but the goods were taken on board from Coimbatore, so the place of supply will be Coimbatore. Clear? So those were the questions on place of supply for goods. In the next session, we will go to 12-14 and then we will continue with the MCQs on place of supply for services. Okay. Thank you very much.
Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, are we audible?
Deepak sir,
Yes, sir.
1 second.
Good evening, students. And I thank Deepak sir for this insightful session. In fact, we had an announcement to make. As we have seen that students have shown a great interest in all the quizzes which have been taken during the session by sir, and once I have also taken these quizzes. So for tomorrow, we have planned a specialized dedicated MCQ quiz, which which will be named as GST Titans Quiz. And it's a new format. So we are trying to make an interactive quiz session for the students where all of you will be interacting. You will be given some quiz questions based on the concepts which have been discussed in the class till now. So till now we have covered the introduction to GST, the basic concepts, plus supply under GST, taxable event, then charge of GST, and place of supply. Till the point sir has covered the concepts till now. So based on all these concepts, we want to have a test, or you can say an interactive quiz for the students to know that how much you have learned in these classes till now. And for this, we are trying a new format. So what I would suggest that tomorrow at 11 a.m. we would be having this quiz. For this, you have to join or you should have a different device, one more device with you. So if you are joining through laptop, I would suggest please have a mobile phone also with you, so that when we give you a link, you have to join through that link. Questions will come on that link and you have to answer those questions. You have to select the correct option. So we will be giving you the link of the website tomorrow morning. But for that, I would suggest please join through one more device, or please have one more device with you. So if you are joining through laptop, please have a phone, or otherwise, if you are joining through phone, then you can have the laptop with you for the quiz, which we will be taking with you. And this quiz we'll try to clear your concepts, because we have seen that when sir takes these quizzes, you all participate in great numbers and you enjoy those quizzes. We have also taken few quizzes. Based on the feedback received for these quizzes, we are taking this specialized session tomorrow. So I request all of you to participate in that quiz. Its name will be CA Titans quiz, and link for that quiz we will be putting in the group. We have a dedicated WhatsApp group, and I think all of you must be a member of that group. Any of you who is not a member can send us a message. Otherwise, we'll be uploading the Zoom link for that particular session tomorrow. Or how do you have to join to that session? That we will be telling you tomorrow, that how do you need to join that session. But we request all of you to please join, so that you will be having a great experience. We can promise you this much, that that will be a very good experience for all of you. You will definitely enjoy learning GST, or whatever you have learned by applying that in that quiz. You will be definitely having a very good time. So please join the interactive quiz tomorrow at 11 a.m. We'll be sharing you the details in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so with this, we come to an end of this session. And thanks for the patient listening. Thank you, students. Thank you, sir. Yes.